This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, welcome to the new year on Bumper to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys, heard every Saturday from 11 to noon. At Bumper to Bumper Radio, we are helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. So if you got car questions, we've got car answers. We encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And for the shy types, you can text your questions to 411-923. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we've got some emails from bumpertobumperradio.com, of course, open phones and taking your texts, and New Year's resolutions for your cars. And at this station, Matt and I have different people that work here that ask us car questions. So Mike Russell, I'm his guy. He says, hey, I got this going on with that going on in my car. What do you think it is? And Matt, you've got guys that call you, and who's the one that calls you all the time?
Well, no, I wouldn't say all the time, but, you know, our newsman, Cooper Rommel, he knows we're going to pick on him a little bit. I didn't know if he knew we were going to do it by name or not. But,
yes,
so I get this nervous phone call yesterday about the car, and Cooper's got a new car. You know, he blew up the last one. He just ran that thing into the ground.
Drove it like it was stolen.
And then some. Like stolen, and no one was looking for it. But anyway, so Cooper's got a new car. He should be getting oil changed every 5,000 miles. He got himself a nice new Mazda. And he went out hunting. He was probably with Mike Russell. I would imagine he's got that hunting bug now. But Cooper lives over in Tempe. So he's on the west side of town, Avondale, somewhere where he doesn't go. He doesn't do business out there. And his oil change light comes on. And he thinks, oh, my God, I've got to get an oil change. The car says so, right? So he deviates from his plan. And I'm not so sure he had a plan. That's what we're going to talk about with these New Year's resolutions. So he goes into a mass merchandiser, a big retail operation, and goes and gets an oil change. Well, okay, fine. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Other than the fact he didn't really need to, he reacted rather than having his plan. He reacted. Oh my gosh, the light came on, so he got out of his norm, and then he goes off with his hunting or doing whatever he was doing. A few miles later, the check engine light comes on. Now everybody's closed. It's New Year's Day. He doesn't know what to do, so he calls me, which is great. They can call me anytime, and check engine light's on. So I suspect what happened is this oil change place, who probably has a kid changing oil, went in there and they did a service, and they probably forgot to plug in the mass airflow sensor or something like that when they checked the air filter maybe, or they bumped something. So there's a chance it's nothing that's got anything to do with what the oil change place did. But the point is, if we have a plan with our car, first off, he didn't have a plan, I'm going to say, and he doesn't have any. Although he has a guy, he doesn't have a guy. You got to have your go-to guy. You know, for a lot of my customers, Dave, and I'm sure it's the same thing with yours. But if you're a Virginia Auto Service customer and you're a regular, they usually don't freak out. They're not going to react. They're going to say, I'm just going to call my guy. I'm going to call the shop, or I know I just had this oil change, or I'm due, and that's okay. So sometimes we have to watch what those lights say. Now, so the check engine light comes on. He's in the owner's manual. It says stop driving. Well, it's just the check engine light. And the other bad information says go right to the dealer. You don't need to do that either. So I think part of our New Year's resolution is what, Dave? We want to have a plan for our car, be resolute about taking care of our car for the year. There's so many other benefits that come with just taking care of your car, right?
Well, yeah, it's just there's a lot of things that we could do, but the one that I think should happen at the beginning of the year is if you've got a car with any more than 40, 50, 60,000 miles, at the beginning of the year, let's go in and let's go get a paid inspection and know everything that's going on with the car. And let's not go in there to necessarily do any work that day. Let's just get a paid inspection so we know the state of the car, and then we can plan for the year in advance of what we're going to have to budget for, what kind of things am I looking for. There's probably nothing wrong with that car at 50, 60,000 miles.
No, nothing wrong. It might need some maintenance, but let's back it up a little bit. It's kind of like saying, I'm going to lose some weight this year. Well, that's a great resolution, but if you don't have a plan, So get the plan. Let's be more specific.
Kind of got to know where you're starting and what you're going to get to, right?
Yeah. So maybe, like you said, go get that. And why do you say paid, Dave? Why do we want to have a paid inspection? Why am I going to go pay for this?
Well, here's the thing. The paid inspection, a lot of people go in for an oil change. There's a coupon. I'll just use it. It's $15 for an oil change. And it includes...
Or even $30 for that matter.
Yeah, $30 for that matter. And it includes an inspection. Well, some of these shops that don't do necessarily the whole car, they're going to see all the things they like to sell. I mean, that's just kind of... This is kind of my take. They look at your brakes, your shocks, your tires, but maybe look past other items that you really need to know about so that you can take care of your car, not just what... And I think some of these shops have gotten in the habit of they know people have this kind of threshold of pain of, if it's $200-300, I'll pay for it, but don't make it be $500. So they don't really give you the honest truth, and that's not a good friend. You want a friend who'll tell you, tell you what's going on with your car so you can make a good decision.
Or they've reached their point of competency. They've reached their level of incompetency. So maybe they're not,
not bad guys.
They're not bad guys. But you know what? If we don't do air filter, or if we don't do transmission pan gaskets, or we don't do U-joints, or we don't do whatever this thing may need, or we don't do timing belts, we're not talking to you about the stuff we don't do. If we're the lube guy, we're only going to talk to you about the 5 things that they trained us to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing, I think, you get what you pay for. A guy who's not – a lot of these people, Dave, we talked about it in the past, they're working on the IFCOM. They're doing the free inspection because they're hoping to get some work out of the job. So for me, I charge for our inspection at my shop, and we want to because that takes time. You want a quality technician doing a good job to look at the car and talk to you, and then come up with a plan to either get everything that's wrong with your car taken care of, or say, hey, it's got a clean bill of health, but in 5,000 miles we're going to do this, and in 20,000 miles we're going to do this, because this guy's getting paid. The guys that are working for free have to sell you something to get paid.
Hey, guys, this is Bree, Board Up. I just have to jump in because what you're talking about resonates with me so much. I've got to do a shout-out to my man, Jack. Jack was actually in a vehicle accident the other day, but he's our mechanic. He's the guy that really gets everything done down in Apache Junction, and he comes up with a plan. If I give a phone call, I know I'm going to talk to Jack. He's the guy that's going to help me fix it, walk me through it, and tell me, hey, kid, I know that you work on cars with your uncle. You can do this job yourself. Or, this is a little advanced. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it? That's the kind of guy you need in your corner.
Yeah. And so you have that plan, and you're not overreacting.
Well, that was another point on my list, is that if you don't have that guy, if you don't have Jack, you don't have that relationship, this year we're going to find a shop that we can call home. We can have the guy that we can call and the guy that's going to take care of us. So that was one on my list. Okay, New Year's resolution, we're going to go get a paid inspection. And we also got to have a guy that can take us through that inspection and tell us what we need, what we don't need, what we need a budget for, that kind of thing. And if you don't have a guy, good place to start is bumper-to-bumperradio.com. You've got to have that relationship. Now, in Cooper's case, he went into XYZ Auto Mall, and he got his oil changed, and now he's got a check engine light. He's got a car with only 13,000 miles on it. The dang check engine light's coming on because he went to a place that wasn't his home.
And now he's got to drive all the way back out to Avondale, or he's got to go to the other franchise location, and they'll probably take care of plugging in whatever they need to replug or reset or whatever the case is. But yeah, you've got to have the plan and have your go-to person.
And here's the other thing that I didn't like is that he went when the car told him to get an oil change. And these cars all have these kind of predictive things where they tell you when you need an oil change. But really what it comes down to is he needs an oil change every 5,000 miles. So at 5,000 miles, you're going to go get an oil change. That's not when the car tells you. Maybe it's a little proactive. Maybe it's 500 miles before. You never know where you're going to be when that light comes on. It's a great plan. Just take your car to the shop. That's 3 times a year because most people drive 15,000 miles a year. So that means I'm going to go first quarter, somewhere, middle of the year and last quarter to get my car checked out.
I say make it a contest with your kids. You've got the oil change sticker up on the window, and you've got to promise the kids you're taking them to McDonald's at the drive-through for an ice cream cone or whatever their treat is that they like every day that thing is past due. You know, you get that nagging from the back seat. Maybe.
Well, it's like my dentist office. They send me reminders at a time for your cleaning. Believe it or not, I'm glad for it. Either that or they have me book my next appointment when I'm leaving. Because you know what? I just don't sometimes take care of that stuff. And so sometimes it gets me committed ahead of time. Do you guys do that in Virginia Auto? Do you book people's oil changes out?
We try to, but it's very hard. It's very hard for us. There's always something going on. There's always 3 people at the counter when you're taking people in, cashing them out. But it's just a mindset. We need to change how people think. And I believe if people start getting stranded, having problems with their car, they're going to be more. It's just the dentist. The dentist is the expert at booking the next appointment, and we should be like that too at our shops. I mean, it is 3, and I'm horrible. I do my check engine or my low tire lights on. I'm overdue for oil change.
Matt has a black piece of tape over his check engine light. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But anyhow, when we come back, we got open phones at 602-277-5827. Again, 602-277-5827. You can also text us at 411-923 or listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio on this day after New Year's Day. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are helping you with your car. We're talking about New Year's resolutions for your car. And right at the top of the list is get a guy, find a shop you can call home. And that's at the top of the list. The next thing is, hey, I just know I need to be at the shop every 5,000 miles. That's 3 times this year. And if I just average that visit to the shop, maybe 40, 50, 60 bucks, I'm going to $150 this year of going to the shop and getting oil changes, that type of thing. And then the other thing that was a recommendation was at the beginning of the year so we can plan for what it's, the older your car is, the more you need to budget for repair, okay? You got a car, 20,000 miles, 40,000 miles. Ain't nothing wrong with that car. Ain't nothing going to be wrong with that car as long as you're keeping up with the maintenance.
Ain't nothing?
Ain't nothing wrong with that car. So in Cooper's case, he might, he's very gun shy about running the car out of oil, right? Because that's what happened to his last car.
Yeah. He done blowed it up, Dave. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Tore it up. So, go in especially on the older vehicles with the higher mileage on them, go get a comprehensive vehicle evaluation. That's what we call it in my shop, a CVE, or comprehensive vehicle inspection, CVI, whatever you want to call it. Get the vehicle checked out, not because we're going to go in there and drop a ton of coin. If we want to go fix everything that day and that's what we want to do, yeah, okay, do that. But now you know what's going on. I've been on the scale. I know what I need to do, and I got to buy tires this year. Maybe that's mid-year. I got to buy, a timing belt this year. I get all those things lined out ahead of time, so I'm not doing reactive maintenance to my car. We're doing proactive maintenance to the car. So you're going to find a shop to call home. You're going to get a comprehensive vehicle evaluation. You're going to have a plan and have a budget. That's the best way to take care of your car instead of just run it till it broke. You take it to the shop, what's wrong with it? It broke. And that's, some people put gas in the car and they drive it till lights come on. And that's not the way you have to do it. I mean, those lights are nice to remind us that we need to go to the shop.
Lights are nice around Christmas, but
Christmas.
No, just have a plan. It's easy. Just go in. I mean, sometimes we overthink it, and just go in. I think the key, though, Dave, we always talk about it. I don't care if it's about the big giant list or whatever. It all goes back to having the relationship, so you don't ever have to wonder if you're being sold a bill of goods you don't need. You don't ever have to wonder, and oh my God, is there something? You're calling the wrong person. You're calling multiple people. You're the orphan. Don't be an orphan this year. It all goes back to have the relationship. That's where you've got to start.
Well, the relationship is good. The other thing, too, I want to talk about, and this is, you weren't planning on this because we got phone calls we got to get to, but it's just competence shop. I've seen some really, really, really well-maintained cars. I mean, they got maintenance all the time, but they were just in bad shape because it was bad maintenance by the wrong people. So we want to be working with an honest and then competent shop as well. So we've got, it looks like, Jim and Anthem on a 1977 something or other. Hey, Jim.
It's an MGB, I think it is, but we've got V in here, so. Jim, what's going on?
Hello?
Yep.
Hey, Jim, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Okay. The reason for the call is I'm looking to possibly purchase a 1977 MGB, and I'm trying to get a referral for a shop that might know the idiosyncrasies of the MGBs, specifically the Zenith carburetors.
I don't know if there's anybody willing to admit to that. There is a place that I can think of. I think it's called Coventry Motors. Down there by, Dave, they're behind, there's that British car place.
In Tempe right there.
No. 12th Street and Camelback, south of Camelback. Then they're by, behind Courtesy Chevrolet. Down there at 12th Street, like 12th Street and Pearson or something like that. Brick building. It's going to be on the northeast corner of one of those streets. But 12th Street south of Camelback. I'm pretty sure it's Coventry. I would give them a shot. Oh boy, I don't know of anybody else. I mean, those guys aren't one of our bumper to bumper shops, but you see all the old British cars and stuff out there. So that'd be a good starting point.
Well, thanks so much for the call, Jim, and good luck on your 1977. That was the year I was born.
He's the baby, Dave.
Yeah.
Michael in Phoenix. We're going to get Michael, who's got a Duramax.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for the advice and for your show. I hope people listen to it. I take really good care of my Duramax and other cars with my guy.
Your guy, good.
Yep. But I have got an issue that just popped up on my Duramax diesel. That is a chronic problem with a EGR code that's being pulled because of all the carbon in there. Now, I have pulled the EGR valve out, and it is functioning properly, but I still get the code, and it's really all gooped up in there with carbon. Is there a place to go to get that cleaned out, or do you recommend anything other than like oven cleaner or something like that to clean it out?
You know, that is, Michael, that's one of the problems on all diesel cars, and we're starting to see on gasoline fuel-injected cars too, is the carbon buildup. And I know we do those at my shop. At Virginia Auto Service, we use a company from BG Products. And you've got to be careful because you can't go in and chisel that carbon off, because if you get it into the system, it's like a rock. Sometimes it's gooey carbon, and sometimes it's just hard soot. You've got to be careful putting chemicals into the car too, because the diesel engine, if you feed it fuel, it will just rev and rev and rev. So we do have a process that we use. We do it on a lot of the Volkswagen TDIs, where we have this in Ford trucks. I know I did it on my excursion. We have a setup where it's a fuel injector, and we put a high pressure behind it, shop air pressure, with an electronic injector with a timer on it. So occasionally it's just pulsing, and we've got that inserted in, there's a special tooling set up to put that right into that EGR port. So we're just pulsing this cleaner into there, and slowly but surely over the course of about 3 hours, it just wipes out all that cleaner. So you might check if I know you're in Phoenix. I don't know if that's downtown by me. You've got Kurt Rock up in 22nd Avenue in Bell. They might do that. The other one, it's a product made by BG that we use, though.
For sure. Well, I got a text here. This texter has got a Honda Element, lives in Ahwatukee, and needs the website of your auto shops in Tempe. So the best place is bumpertobumperradio.com. And we've got Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe. We've got...
I think she's by ADS. She's in Ahwatukee. She's over there in that giant cul-de-sac.
Ahwatukee area. ADS is a great place to get your car worked on. You've got Joel at Arizona Imports in Tempe. My shop is Tri-City Transmission in Tempe. You'll find all those shops at bumpertobumperradio.com. And I see that one there. Matt, I've got this person has a 1996 Saturn SL2. When the engine gets really warm and you shut it off, it will not restart until it cools off some. Any ideas? Thanks, Jeff.
Well, I mean, that can go so many different ways. We can have what we call a hot soak problem. And we probably don't have time. I know we have a question about fuel injection cleaning, and we can talk. Maybe this is part of that conversation later. But we could have a situation where the fuel injectors are dirty, they're leaking down, there's excessive carbon buildup in the engine, and when they sit really hot, they just won't start. Kind of like a vapor lock situation. Or you could have a situation where there's an electronic component that's failing, and that solid state device or those electronics want to cool down before they start working again. But it's the same whether it's hot or cold. We've got to have spark. We've got to have fuel pressure. We've got to have power to the fuel pump, obviously, to get the fuel pressure, to have the injector spark. So there's all the systems have to be working in order to make that car start.
You know, I was reading one of these emails from our website where a guy was having problems with his tire monitoring system. And he had all the sensors replaced, and he kept going back to the dealership, and it couldn't figure it out. And what it turned out to be, I appreciate him sending the email, was that he was using some sort of cheap USB phone charger in his car, and that thing was creating interference, so his TPMS would not work.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they say take all your belongings out, so they could never duplicate the problem.
So anyway, when we come back, we're taking more calls. You listen to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Arizona, an amazing state for outdoor recreation and exploration. Full of mountains, lakes, streams, forests, and of course, our beautiful deserts. Hunting, fishing, camping. If it's about the outdoors, we've got it covered. KTAR invites you to Get Outdoors with Mike Russell today at noon. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and on every device with the KTAR app.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
KTAR News, on air, 92.3 FM, online at KTAR.com, and on every device with the KTAR app. Arizona's breaking news and traffic, now.
KTAR News Time, 11:30. I'm Mike Sackley. A disease that could potentially devastate citrus trees all over Arizona likely means fewer fruit donations to Valley food banks. St. Mary's Food Bank and United Food Bank have not been accepting drop-off donations of citrus fruit since the State Department of Agriculture issued a quarantine last month. That's due to the Asian citrus psyllid, a tiny bug that can spread a citrus greening disease. Floodwaters are now threatening homes in southern Missouri and Illinois after inundating areas around St. Louis. At least 22 deaths blamed on the flooding that began last weekend after heavy rain. TCU quarterback Trevon Boykin arrested for third-degree assault Thursday and suspended from the Alamo Bowl tonight. Boykin allegedly punched a police officer at a San Antonio bar after a fight broke out. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus.
We don't know whether he was swinging at the officer or whether he was swinging at somebody behind him. I don't know.
Boykin has been charged with assaulting a police officer. He has apologized via Twitter. Now a check on traffic in the KTAR Traffic Center. Here's Danny Sullivan.
You're just in time. We've got a new accident. It's involving a pedestrian along the Fiesta Bowl parade route, Central Avenue, and Coulter, just north of Camelback Road. Now, the parade already started, but what you need to know is that the parade route is this. It's on Central, south of Bethany Home Road. It started already, so it's going to head down to Camelback, and then it's going to go east on over to 7th Street. It'll finally end over on 7th Street, south of Camelback Road. So all of those roads along the way are closed. I'm Danny Sullivan, KTAR News.
Sunny skies today with a high of 72. Right now in Scottsdale, 61 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Weather replace or repair, call Howard Air. Matt and Dave, KTAR's Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper. Back with you next. I'm Mike Sackley, KTAR News.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do. Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions. Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers. If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere. Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee. Interstate Batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Okay, New Year's resolutions. We've all got them. I think I gave up most of them, Dave. I think yours is sometimes a little opposite one. I won't share yours, what you start doing on New Year's, but earlier in the show, if you're just joining us, we're talking about a New Year's resolution for your car. And basically all it is get a plan. Get into the shop every 5,000 miles. If you've got a newer car, just make sure you're taking care of your car. If you've got an old one, have a resolution to get in and find out. Get an inspection, find out everything that's wrong with your car. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe you'll get some good news. And stick with a plan to keep the car taken care of. So I'm Matt Allen, Dave Riccio, and we, every Saturday, are your KTAR car guys here on Bumper to Bumper Radio from 11 to noon, helping you with your car. So if you ever have car questions or car problems, or just want to stay up to date on what's happening in the trends of auto repair, and just I always have people, Dave, telling me, I learned so much. I don't have any problems with my car, but I learned so much, and the things that I hear, I think, help me, or I know better when people in the office are talking, or I'm just more intelligent about my car. So we can help you with that, and if you want to call us, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you like to text, you can do that at 411-923.
Well, I do have a text here. This person has a Toyota Highlander 2003 with Michelin tires on it. Someone told me these don't last long in AZ heat. Is that true? Is there a better tire choice for our climate? We drive about 15,000 miles per year. Thank you. I put Michelins on my car. I'm a fan. I never. They tend to get a little bit of, back when I was changing tires when I was a kid, I remember that they got a little bit of aesthetically. You look at them and they seem like they got a little bit of cracking on them, but there's no problem with the Michelin tires in Arizona. They work fantastic, and especially at 15,000 miles a year.
I'd be willing to bet Michelin's doing some hot weather testing in Arizona. That's the thing with the internet, Dave, and this. You can go find truth in anything you want to find.
Someone told me these don't last long in AZ.
A friend of a friend of Ferris Bueller's.
You know what? If you say it with confidence, people believe. Don't tell anybody we don't know anything about cars. We just talk with confidence. Well, I won't include it.
Right. Speak for yourself, Dave. Speak for yourself. Looks like Larry in Black Canyon's got an Astrovan. We're going to see what we can do for him. Larry, how can we help you today?
Okay, this Astrovan. I get a vibration in the engine. When I warm it up, it goes to fast idle. It's smooth. And the minute it seems to warm up, sometimes I get a vibration in the engine, and sometimes I don't. And then sometimes it'll be running really smooth, and I'll put my foot on the brake and put it in the gear, and the engine starts vibration. I take it out of gear in neutral, and it runs smooth again. And then sometimes I'll put it in the drive or reverse, and it won't vibrate at all. And my check engine light come on.
Oh, you said your check engine light is on.
Yeah.
Now has the light been on the whole time that you've? I mean, is this vibration a new issue, or is this something that seems to have started in concurrent with the check engine light?
Yeah, this has been going on for a while.
And the check engine light is something new.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I think it's a situation, Matt, where you got that vibration at idle. The engine may not be running smoothly, so it could be misfiring a little bit. Maybe needs some sort of running work. But at the same time, also, I think at 2005, maybe it's needing some mounts. That's the other big thing that we see it with rough idle is when rubber mounts get old and they deteriorate and they sag and they lose their cushion for a lot of that vibration that's normally swallowed up or sponged up.
Yeah, and it seemed to be a bit intermittent too. Might make you think it's a runnability or drivability problem. I was going to say maybe you have a harmonic balancer that has slipped, but you're going to have that vibration all the time. Now, I don't know. I wasn't really clear on the whole check engine light thing. If we've had this vibration and, oh, by the way, the check engine light came on, or if these problems have been happening together for a while. Because if that is a running problem, the engine will detect a misfire. It may not tell exactly which cylinder it is. And sometimes, there is a threshold. It's got to hit a certain number of misfires per minute in order to turn that check engine light on. So you could be just one or two below the threshold and not have a check engine light. So part of that is going to an experienced shop that can get in there. I mean, there's one thing. If you've got an EKG machine on you, you're having a heart attack. I think the guy who's cleaning the bedpans can tell you there's something wrong with that big line. But it's being able to read the data that is happening in the background in order to know what's happening before we actually have to have a light come on, or have the thing having a big issue?
Hey, Larry, thanks for the call. 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Richard. He's got a 2007 Ford Taurus. How can we help you, Richard? You are on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, good morning and Happy New Year to you guys.
You too.
Yeah, what I've got, like the front end, it's a front end issue, I think it is, vibration. Starts at about 70 miles an hour, increases when you hit 80 miles an hour. Brand new tires all the way around, balancing on the whole thing. When I depress the brake pedal, there is no vibration on it. Alignment seems to be okay when I let go of the wheel going down a straightaway. It doesn't veer left or right or anything like that. And what was the other one that I had?
So when do you?
When I put it in neutral. Going down the highway 70, 80 miles an hour, and in caution, of course, I put it in neutral to see if the vibration stops at all, and it does not.
What happens if you throw it in reverse?
Tried that once.
I have a good time.
Solved the problem.
It just goes bang, and there's no more vibration. I can guarantee you that.
No, yeah, it's fixed.
So, I mean, he's talked about everything.
Right.
You know, this happens sometimes when you say, well, even helping technicians in the shop, well, I've checked everything. It's all good. Well, what does that mean?
It's a front-wheel drive car. He's got vibration. Sounds like under throttle, maybe a little bit. And so, believe it or not, I've seen axle shafts do that. If you're on the gas at those higher speeds. He said he's got all new tires on it. The thing about tires, when you get a tire vibration, it'll usually be in a small window. So 62 to 64 will make a vibration, but you can drive through it or you can be underneath it. So I'm not necessarily thinking tires so much. He did say, well, I got all new tires on it. Sometimes people think, oh, well, they're new tires, so I can't have a vibration. But I've seen tires right out of the box that have a vibration built into them. So, but in this case, I'm not so sure that's what's going on. But I might be looking at that, going that axle direction possibly.
And I guess you got to go back and ask yourself, did I start doing any repairs on the car and then this problem happened? Or were all those things I did in an effort to get rid of this problem that we still have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other thing, too, he said, well, the alignment's fine. It goes straight, so I know the alignment's good. That is not the indicator if your alignment is good. You can be towed in, towed out, have a real camber problem, all those things, and that thing will just go whoop straight down the road. So that's the one thing. We can do an alignment on a car and set all the angles and everything like that. If we don't straighten the steering wheel, the customer didn't think we aligned it. So those are some of the things I think that customers think that's an indication.
I thought of you the other day, Dave. We started talking about alignments and angles, and I saw a shirt that says, I survived death wobble. So
Jeep shirt.
You knew that guy had a Jeep at some time in his life. We're talking about death wobble. It's just there's a caster angle. You picture a caster wheel on a grocery cart. Get going too
wiggling
fast,
back and forth.
That thing starts going crazy and wiggling and causing problems. So I guess, Bill, I'd be having a look at the axles.
Yeah, probably the axles, and I think an experienced technician who's got a good seat of the pants feel will have a real good idea what to look at. I mean, vibrations they can be a tougher problem, but if you've got experience on it, then it shouldn't be an issue.
And I said Bill, I meant Richard. We've got another Bill with a Ford Taurus.
We got two Ford Tauruses up there. Well, let's go with Bill number 2 in Phoenix on a 2016 Ford Taurus. Go ahead, Bill. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, good morning. I got kind of a different question for you about window tinting. So I'm looking at putting window tint on my car, and I know that you have to have like 35% on the front windows, and then you can go darker at the back. And I'm kind of wondering, what like the best performing and looking, those might be contradictory, but wondering if I should get like 20% in the back windows or 35% in the back windows.
I think it all comes down to a personal preference, but what I can tell you is do your homework, ask questions, because I have window tint, obviously, on my cars. I like to have the back window of my truck not quite as dark because I want to be able to see out of it, but I'm okay with getting the side windows darker because you really don't, if you have mirrors and you're comfortable with a car, using your mirrors is fine, so I'm not worried about the passenger windows. But I can tell you the other thing. First off, I roll down my window now in my truck, and you can see where the glass goes up into the trim, and you can see it's much darker. So that window tint definitely fades over time. And you're going to want to ask your guys about the warranty. I'm not real happy with the warranty on mine because I showed the guy, said, look how faded it is. This is lifetime warranty. Oh, yeah, but we only warranty when it's tinted to the legal. I'm like, what's that got to do? So I'm slightly darker than legal on my front doors, but then there's, we don't tint it because it's not legal. I mean, that's the most chicken stuff excuse for not wanting to stand behind your product. So I would ask all those questions and make sure you said, the guy said, you should have got the better tint. You never offered it to me. You just told me you're the best guy in town. And so I got what you recommended. So ask questions. What's better than what you're offering me? Do you have a better product? And what did you use on your car? And so on and so forth.
I got an email from Jesse. He wanted to suggest a topic for on-air discussion. He's got a 2011 Mazda 3, 73,000 miles on it. He keeps regular care of it. But every time the advisor tries to push him on this fuel injection cleaning, and then there's all kinds of information out there, fuel injection cleaning, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. I'm confused.
Well, I kind of go off on a rant sometimes in this fuel injection cleaning, Dave, so I hope we've got some time here. But the gentleman called or wrote in earlier, called on the Saturn that has a hot starting problem. We used to fix so many cars just by cleaning the fuel injectors. Now, yes, there is top-tier fuel now, and if you're using a good quality brand-name gas, it's got all the detergents in the car or in the fuel. And the fuel injector technology itself is better. The tips aren't getting carboned up and as dirty as they used to. But not only do we want to keep the fuel injector clean, but we have to keep the engine clean. I'd be willing to bet that you will not find any car owner's manual that says you need to clean your fuel injectors at XYZ time. But you do. There's certain times. I mean, we fix cars in some cases by cleaning fuel injection system. We have cars that don't pass emissions, and we simply clean the fuel injectors, and the car passes emissions. You don't need to use mouthwash every day, but if you do, the chances are better that you're not going to get plaque buildup. I mean,
we'll get back to it. We got to go to break here, but there is some boondoggle type
there's some
fuel
garbage out
injection
there
services.
Too. There's some absolute garbage.
So we'll talk about those when we come back. It looks like we got Patty, Arthur, Jeremy, and Jeff. You're listening to Matt and Dave, Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions for the past several decades, we've been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE MasterTechs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Home run king Henry Aaron says it took him 17 years to get 3,000 hits in baseball and only one afternoon on the golf course. Golf has its ups and downs, and we cover them all. Around the world and right here in the Valley, the Bunker to Bunker Golf Show takes you inside the game. So join me, Greg Ellis, along with Marty Monahan and Jim Hill, Saturday mornings from 7 to 9 on Arizona Sports 98.7.
Bunker to Bunker. Golf lives here.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, Jesse, I don't think we gave ourselves enough time to answer your fuel injection question. And right before the break, I said there's a lot of boondoggle fuel injection services out there. There's what I would call the super marketing fuel injection service. It sounds good. It's funny. I take my wife's car to get the oil change and car wash because it comes as a deal. And they say, oh, you need a fuel injection service. Why? Oh, because it says so. Where does it say so? It just does.
Yeah, that's what we got training on last week. And a lot of these services that we do now, they were born of the lube industry, right? I mean, how can you survive doing $29 oil changes? These drive-through oil change shops, their average ticket's $150. First off, they're not cheap oil changes, and they're adding on us. Oh, you want to buy one of these? You want to buy one of these? You need this, you need that. You want to buy a fuel filter today? The cars don't need all that quick maintenance like they used to. But back to the fuel injection, I'm I guess passionate's the word. I mean, about doing certain things right. I mean, at my shop, there's a couple things. There's fuel system cleaning. You can have the fuel injection, but you also need to take care of the air side, where all the dirty air is going into the engine. Now, you take a direct fuel-injected car, you can run all the fuel injection cleaner in the world through there. It doesn't do anything because it's not cleaning the valve. The idea is to clean the carbon off the valve. So it's as much on an older car, or not even a car without direct injection, it's as much about cleaning the carbon and the gook out of the engine, as Fletch would say, as it is using the fuel injector as a delivery method to get it there. The injectors just don't get as dirty as they used to. But then you talked about the boondoggle stuff. If it can be done while you wait for $89, go give your money to charity. The better will happen in the world than an $89 fuel injection cleaning service that lasts 15 minutes.
You should be doing that either way. I mean, whether you need a fuel injection service or not.
On top of what you're already giving to charity, go buy some people lunch or something, because the $89 that you're spending while they wash your car is a complete waste of money. If they do it at the drive-thru, it's a waste of money. That fuel injection cleaning service should take well over an hour to do, and it should be being done by an ASE certified, a trained technician that knows what they're doing. It's not a quickie lube.
Well, thanks for the email, Jesse. And you guys can email the topics for discussion at bumpertobumperradio.com. While you're there, you'll find Matt and I. We've got a Facebook page. Be sure to like us. We could use some more friends. And let's get to Arthur in Phoenix. He's got a 2001 Volkswagen Passat with a V6 in it.
You just like to slaughter these names, don't you, Dave?
How can we help you, Arthur? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Thanks for taking the call. I actually live on 7th Street in Virginia, and I've seen the Virginia shop hundreds of times. I never knew that was your guys' shop.
If you see the bald owner out front,
that's me.
That's Matt.
Well, that's good to know, because I might need your help. Basically, I bought this Passat on Christmas Eve, this past Christmas Eve, and it turned from a guy who said he'd owned it for a year and a half. Turns out he bought it the night before, made it look good, and sold it to me under the guise that it was a well-running car. Turns out, what just happened for me is that what it appears to be is the crankshaft seal, the front crankshaft seal, is just gushing oil everywhere.
Do you know where this guy lives?
I do actually. I do have a fairly good idea, and I basically got in text, through text messages with him I found out that he lied, so I dug through some of the records and found the real owner of the vehicle and spoke to the real owner.
Yeah.
So he said that this crankshaft seal wasn't a problem when he sold it to him, but the valve cover gaskets were leaking.
Right.
So this guy changed the valve cover gaskets, and I'm not a mechanic, obviously, or I wouldn't be calling you. My education is in nursing, so I just using a little logic thought that maybe this was the next weakest point in the engine.
It could have been, or there could have been multiple leaks. We'll use the medical. You don't know if your knee is cut, if you've got a knife wound in your chest and all the blood is running down. Too, the valve cover is at the top, so a lot of people's logic is start at the top, clean it all up, and see what happens. So, yeah, Arthur, we just need to get it in, get a look at it, and find out, confirm it's the crankshaft seal that's leaking. You'd be surprised. There's timing covers. There's all kinds of
things that could be
little
leaking
things in that leak, and sometimes maybe it runs down somewhere else and drips off of there. Which takes me into another quick question about. There was an email, Dave, that said, I'm getting ready to take my car into Tri-City Transmission. Should I steam clean the undercarriage first?
Because of a leak.
Because of a leak. Now, I wouldn't do that. All that oil under there is evidence. that lets us know the severity of the leak. How long? I mean, is a whole car covered underneath? Maybe what it is. Maybe if there's more than one thing leaking. So just leave the car, leave it how it is, leave it as is, so that we can go see the real deal with that, and it'll help us diagnose and may eventually, actually save you some money. I mean, it's not gonna. If you can save yourself $90 or $50 or whatever it costs to steam clean the underside of the car, but it might cost you more in time or hassle if you have to come back.
That's true. Thanks for the call, Arthur. And we are going to go with Patty in Gold Canyon on 07 Equinox. How can we help you, Patty? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi. Well, I've had trouble with my switch. It won't turn off a lot of times. But then you wait a minute to 5 minutes, and there's a click underneath the dash, and you can turn the switch off.
Which switch?
The ignition.
Oh, so you go turn the car off and it doesn't shut off?
Right. Not all the time, but pretty much half the time. But there's a click under the dash, and you can know that the switch will turn off. I had a new switch put in, ignition switch, and that didn't do anything.
Dave, I guarantee you
This is a funny story from my shop this week. We had 3 GM vehicles that we put in 3 ignition switches from, and all 3 of those switches out of the box were defective. You'd think mechanics just put a new part on there. We put a new part on there, and we got to re-diagnose it because the new part is bad.
Don't you hate that? And then you start second-guessing everything you do because you always think the new part is...
That's the assumption that's made.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I haven't heard of that, but I guarantee you there's 5 people out there listening that have just said to themselves, I had that same problem, or there's a technician. We get a lot of technicians that listen to us and because they send in comments all the time. I guarantee you some out there going, oh, it's the whatever valve or
relay gonculator widget.
Yeah, the gonculator widget. So it's one of those things, Patty. You need to just get it into the shop that you use. They're going to have to probably experience it. We have databases that we can put in the VIN number and go do a quick search and see if there's some common thread or there's some pattern failure with a
relay sticking or something.
Look up service bulletin, see if there's anything happening, but something wrong there for sure. Right?
That's funny. That's funny for sure. Well, we appreciate you listening to our show. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. I had someone email. I say, hey, why don't you guys do this in this chain of auto shops? Why aren't they part of your list? And they could be great. They're not part of Bumper to Bumper. The thing about Bumper to Bumper Radio is these are shops where the owner is on the premises. He's a guy that cares about his business. He's a guy you're going to see in the parking lot or running around making sure everybody's doing their job and taking care of your cars. So there are shops that Matt and I gladly would send you there. You can find 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, bumpertobumperradio.com. Remember never to text and drive, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.